How's it going, everybody? Jump Skills here. So everyone's been asking me, what is the best covenant for Beast Mastery Hunters? I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Choose the covenant that you want to pick. Choose the one you like the most. But with that said, though, it depends what type of content you are pursuing. So it depends if you're raiding or doing Mythic Plus as a Beast Mastery Hunter. In today's video, I'm going to tell you the covenant that I prefer between raiding and Mythic Plus, which one I feel like is better between the two, and the legendary between Rylak and the Antler legendary for Night Fae only. So I'm going to tell you my opinion. It doesn't mean it's right. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but I'm just going to let you know that this is my opinion, and I've been getting asked this question a lot between Kyrian, Night Fae, and Venthyr Beast Mastery Hunters. And I'm going to put this in a video, and this is my opinion. I am letting you guys know. This is this disclaimer. This is a disclaimer. Okay? If you like today's video, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel to help support the channel. Follow me on Twitch because I am streaming on my Twitch channel. The link is down below. And let's get on with the video. So for starters, let's talk about rating. So the best covenant for rating, in my opinion, is Kyrian number 1, Night Fae number 2, Venthyr number 3, and Necrolord number 4. So here's the difference, right? So the arrow is a 1 minute cooldown. Wild Spirits is a 2 minute cooldown. You're going to get more putting down your arrow in a raiding boss fight compared to Wild Spirits. That's a 2 minute cooldown. So compare those two for a second. Wild Spirits is a strong bursting DPS cooldown that aligns really well with aspect of the wild. The problem is it's a 2 minute cooldown. So once you put your wild spirits down and wild spirits is done with its usage, what's gonna happen? You're gonna have to wait 2 more minutes for that cooldown to come back up. Unlike the arrow, with the arrow it's only 1 minute cooldown. The arrow is going to align better with Bestial Wrath, and if you talent right, Killer Cobra is going to go really well with the arrow. And the arrow is all about crit. That crit window is going to sync well with Rylak. And if you actually use it to its best of its abilities, you're going to get more out of that arrow than you will get with Wild Spirits with a 2 minute cooldown delaying your DPS progress. So for rating, the arrow is better than Wild Spirits in 9.1. We're going to get better gear, so that means we're going to get higher crit. And with not only will we get better crit, but we're not going to be the only ones getting better gear. Our raid team and our guild members are going to get better gear. So that means heroic raid bosses, especially, they're going to burn down really quickly. Like, boss fights probably won't last more than a certain amount of time. And if you use Wild Spirits, you're probably not going to get Wild Spirits back again before the boss dies because raid bosses are going to be deleted once everyone gets gear throughout 9.1. Also, with the arrow in raiding, the tanks are going to move the bosses from one place to the other. It's going to happen. Shit happens. Like mechanics happen, this, that, and the other. Like shit happens. With the arrow, once you put it on the ground near the boss or the ad or whoever in the raid, it doesn't, no matter where you are, as long as the arrow tags that boss or that ad once and the tank moves that ad or the boss away from the circle, the arrow is going to stick with the boss. Unlike Wild Spirits, if you move out of that circle, you're fucked. The hunter is fucked. The damage is done. Like the hunter has to pray has to pray to the video game gods that the tank does not move him out of the wild spirits. Like that's a huge DPS loss. So you're just praying for that for wild spirits. But the arrow, you don't have to worry about that at all. So it's easier, it's nicer in my opinion. Long story short, Kyrian is better than Night Fae in rating. If I haven't made that clear enough, in my personal opinion, that's what I believe. That's just my personal opinion. In Mythic Plus, this is where it gets a little tricky. Okay, follow me here. And overall damage, Kyrian, in my opinion, is best for Mythic Plus, is better than Night Fae in Mythic Plus. Now hear me out here. In terms of just overall damage, it's not really that close because we go back to the cooldowns that I mentioned before. The Kyrian's arrow is a 1 minute cooldown. Night Phase Wild Spirits is 2 minute cooldown. So let's use Halls of Atonement for an example. So as soon as Halls of Atonement starts, usually the tank gathers up a lot of ads, like a lot, like 3, 4 sets of ads, like from 3, 4 sets of groups of ads, and he brings them together, then we lust. Of course, when a hunter puts wild spirits down, it's gonna be better. Like the damage is gonna be better from that start. From that start is gonna be better. So after we lusted, after we killed all those ads, pow pow ping ping, all the ads are dead. All the ads are gone and dead. Now we go to the next set, and wild spirits is still on cooldown. When I mean next sets, I'm talking about ads. Like we go to the next group of ads, and Wild Spirits has that 2 minute cooldown, and usually it takes a minute for that Wild Spirits to come back. Well, your damage from the start is going to decrease, and that's normal. Even for Kyrian, that's normal, but it's going to go down a lot quicker until your Wild Spirits comes up to do the burst DPS that Wild Spirits does. So 2 minutes is a really long time. So while we're going through Halls of Atonement, my arrow is gonna come back up, and it's gonna pop back up after 1 minute. I'm gonna put the arrow down and use Bistro Raphael, and I'm just gonna cleave and keep nuking the ads, and my damage is gonna keep staying this like it's gonna go back up, like it's gonna stay the same or go back up, and like there's just like a difference. Like the cooldown means a lot, and it's huge on overall damage when you're done throughout the whole throughout the whole Mythic Plus run. Like you'll see a difference, honestly, because that extra minute that the Kyrian arrow gets, that the Wild Spirits has to wait 2 minutes for, it's huge. It's a difference. Your damage is going to fall off during that 2 minutes, while I'll have an arrow every single minute to put down, to cleave, and keep pumping down ads, especially on Fortified Week. Fortified Week, like the ads got to go down quick. And with the arrow, it helps put those ads down. Wild Spirits is going to take 2 minutes, and you got to wait, and you want to hold it, and you're going to keep holding it, and there's people out there that actually holds wild spirits till the tank pulls a lot of ads, and your overall damage is going to go down slightly. And there might be a mistake where you use wild spirits on 2, 3 ads, and you're sitting there pissed like, why couldn't you do that with 4 ads, 5 ads, so I can burst everything down? But then you have to think also as well that the tank's going to be running for its life from the ads, because he's not trying to die on fortified or tyrannical weak. Doesn't matter the weak, but the ads hit hard as hell depending on the key. So he's going to be running like hell if he's a smart tank. So why would you risk putting your wild spirits down on the floor to have the ads move from that wild spirits? Like you have to perfectly place your wild spirits, like the tar trap legendary, onto the floor. Do you really want to go through that stress again? Really? Like all the Beast Mastery hunters hate the tar trap legendaries, and we constantly beg for Rylak or a new legendary to be buffed. And now with Wild Spirits, you're gonna have to practically do that same thing in Mythic Plus, and it's a 2 minute cooldown, so it's pretty much a home run. It's a home run, like you were praying for a home run, like you're praying for that home run. But with Kyrian, if people, if ads move from that arrow place, you can still nuke down the ads, and it's a minute cooldown. So just overall damage, the Kyrian is better than Wild Spirits. Like I mean, Kyrian is better than Night Fae in overall damage. Just overall damage. But if you're collecting a set of ads to nuke down for just to nuke them down, of course Wild Spirits is better. It's a burst DPS thing. But I'm just talking about overall damage. Once the key is done, completed, timed or not timed, the overall damage will show you that the Kyrian is better than Night Fae. Like it's is what it is. But in a ad driven where there's four ads in front of you, four ads. There's a Kyrian to the left and there's a Night Fae to the right. And I'm gonna put a bet to see who is better to nuke these ads down to see who's going to have the better DPS between the two. Of course, I'm going to go with the Night Fae Wild Spirits. Like, it's not debatable. But after a minute, that Kyrian's arrow is going to come back up. And you know who I'm going to bet on? Who has their Covenant ability and the other one that does not have their Covenant ability? I'm going to go with the Kyrian bow arrow. It's going to happen. Like, I'm choosing that person. And in overall damage, like it's not even close. Like you have to honestly sit back and think. There's a lot of people that ask me this question over and over again. I'm telling you, overall damage, Kyrian in a ad versus player, like it's honestly gonna go to Wild Spirits and Night Fae. That's what I think about it. Before I forget, so Kyrian's number one, Night Fae's number two, Venthyre's number three because it's a single target covenant and single target and Mythic Plus is not good at all, except probably Theater Pain is the only dungeon I can think of at the top of my head that's really the most single target places with the less ads. And fourth is Necrolord. Night Face, I'm gonna show you a little love out here. You know, I've been beating you guys down like a drum, and it seems like I'm going hard on you guys, but that's not true. I'm just giving you guys my honest prediction, feelings, you know, this, that, and the other. This is just my honest opinion, and there's no harm in me giving you my honest opinion, and I love to hear your feedback. But anyways, though, back to the topic at hand. So there's a debate between Antlers and Rylak for Mythic Plus and rating. For Mythic Plus, Antlers is better than Rylak because of what it gives you when you put down Wild Spirits, meaning that if you hit less than 5 targets and with your Wild Spirits and you have Antlers as your legendary, you're going to do like you're going to do amazing damage. Like you see your damage go through the fucking roof. It's actually insane. But it's only a 1% DPS difference though. So I don't know if that's worth it to craft, buy, and a new legendary, and you guys are kind of low on money, like tight budget. Like if you guys don't want to do it, it's fine, but it's just only a 1% DPS increase. But that's just the facts, though. That's just the facts, and that's just how it is. The Antlers is better than Rylak, but it's only 1%. Is that 1% really worth it to you guys to go to the auction house and pay for all new crafts and this, that, and the other? It depends on the player. But Antlers is better than Rylak. But if you have a smart tank,
and he sees that you have that antler legendary, he's not gonna pull more than 5 mobs and diminish your legendary. He's gonna pull less than 5 or 5. He's gonna pull between those, and you'll see your damage increase. But if you have, you know, Dum Dum or Dum Dum the tank over there pulling damn near 8 ads, and you put your wild spirits down and you have antlers on, you're kind of screwed. You're kind of screwing yourself over there. But that's just it. In raids, that's different. Raiding with antlers or Rylak, it depends on the boss. It really depends on the boss because some bosses have mechanics that have multiple ads like Paintsmith. Like, how Paintsmith has those balls coming your way and you got to put your wild spirits down, and it's like like 8, 9 of those things, and you put it down, like you're probably hitting 5 or 6 different targets, including the boss. So that diminishes the antler legendary right there. So it just depends on the boss. Um, it's just preference. I cannot see Antlers surpassing Rallicar in raid because Rallicar you'll get your Bestial Wrath back in quicker spurts. Unlike Wild Spirits, you'll get it every 2 minutes, and that time window is just it's like there's a difference. Like you're gonna get Bestial Wrath back, and you can get it back with your barb shots and if you have high crit. With Wild Spirits, you literally have to wait 2 minutes for it to come back. So in rating, I don't think Antlers is better than Rallicar in rating. Like I don't see it. I can't see it. That's just my opinion though. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I just don't see it.
So to be clear, in Mythic Plus, Kyrian, in my opinion, is better than Night Fae in Mythic Plus. It's close. It's close. Depending on the player, it could be really close. It could be really competitive. Rating is the same as well. Kyrian over Night Fae in rating. And that, in my opinion, is not that close in rating due to the cooldowns. And in terms of single target, Venthyr is number 1, Kyrian is number 2, Night Fae is number 3, Necrolord's number 4. Venthyr's single target beast mastery hunters are actually really decent, and they don't get enough recognition out of the raid groups for their single target damage overall. It's actually kind of eye-opening if you ask me, but that's the list in that order. For my night phase over there, for Mythic Plus, Antlers is better than Rallicar just by 1%. Just by 1%. So if you think it's worth crafting a new legendary, spending the funds, that's on you. It's just a 1% difference. Antlers is better than Rallicar in Mythic Plus, and in rating, Rallicar is better than Antlers, in my opinion, in rating. Hopefully this video answers your guys' question. I get asked this a lot every single day. So this is Jump Skills' opinion. This is the video that's going to answer all of your guys' questions when it comes to certain topics like this. And if you guys like today's video, make sure to like and subscribe. The link to my Twitch channel is in the description below. You guys take it easy. Be safe out there. Peace.